Dan, I think this is probably stating the obvious, but is it easier to come into work in a football dressing room when you've won 3 games on the spin in all competitions than when times are hard? How pleased is everybody with how the last couple of weeks have gone?
No, everyone's really pleased. It's always easier coming in to do your job off the back of winning games. Everyone's positive, everyone's buzzing, everyone's like talking to each other, getting along in the dressing room, and it's just what you want.
I know we always do this whole we don't get too high when we win and too low when we lose thing, but momentum's a massive thing in football, isn't it? If everybody's feeling good and confidence levels are good, does that make it that little bit easier to prepare for the next one? Does it sort of become good habits when you're in a good run?
Yeah, momentum is huge in football. I think that's in all bases of the club, through the fans, the staff, the players. And it really helps going into each game knowing that you've come off the back of 3 points in the last game.
A squad these days is about a lot more than the 11 guys who start. You're in the team at the moment, and I think it would be fair to say at the start of the season you might not have expected to be starting games, and certainly didn't start at the start of the season. How important is it that people who aren't in the team at the moment are ready to take an opportunity when it comes, and how much do people like yourself and Ben Woods in that midfield kind of embody that?
Yeah, no, the squad's a massive thing in football. I'll always be ready, whether I'm playing on the bench or even in the stands. I'll always be ready to put my imprint on the game. But everyone's got to be ready because you never know when injuries might happen or suspensions. So everyone's just got to always be on their toes to give their all when they're asked upon. How
satisfying is it when you do get that nod and you do get picked and you feel like you do yourself justice?
No, it feels good because it's like what you work for. It's what you work for pre-season, each week, every day, every hour, every gym session, every training session. It's what you work for is to get a game on the Saturday.
How difficult is it, the summer for example, when there was maybe a bit of uncertainty about what was coming next for you, what the next step might be, whether you'd be here or somewhere else, looking at the prospects and thinking there's 5-6 midfield players in my position in there, this is going to be a real challenge. Does it put doubts in your mind, or as you get older does it kind of sharpen that focus and make you more determined to get in the team?
Yeah, no, I'm always up for the challenge. If there's 5 or 6 players in my position, I always believe that I can get myself into the team just by working hard and doing what I can off the pitch and on the pitch to get myself in the team.
The manager singled you out a couple of times in recent games. He was talking about you after the Grimsby game at the weekend and other players and their opinions of you. How big is that within your peers, within that changing room, there are players saying, Dan Martin, he's a good player, he can do this, he can do that, and to be able to kind of show that on a match day?
Yeah, no, it is good because it does fill you with confidence on the pitch. So that it shows that they trust you. I can trust them back. And it builds like a bond between the players. So on the pitch, I know who's doing what. I know they can trust me when they're passing me the ball. So it feels good.
What's it like having come through the ranks of this place? You'll have seen so much change. You'll have seen so many different players come and go. I mean, was it 8, 9 that you joined the club?
Yeah, I think it was about 8 or 9 years old. So I've been here for a long time now. Seen a lot of players, a lot of staff, and they've all played the part in me getting to here.
It's the statistics about how many players make it as a professional going through an academy, and it's a very small number. Do you appreciate that, having been able to do it successfully? Are there lots of young men now that you came through the ranks with, under 10s, under 15s, whatever it may be, that maybe aren't playing the game now? Does that help you appreciate A, how lucky you are, but B, I suppose, how hard you've worked?
Yeah, no, I definitely appreciate it because I understand now how hard it is throughout all the years to get to this point. But it's not just me, it's my family helping me, bringing me on the trips to training every day, every night. So it's not just me, there's a lot of other people in the background that have helped me get to this point.
And I think at Accrington, you perhaps have more of a chance. There's perhaps more players who've come through and made it. There's a few of you at the moment in the first team setup that have come through the academy. Do you think that'll give other young players... I spoke to Aaron Pickles at the start of the season and he said, I can see lads a bit older than me that have come through and got into the team, and that gave me hope when I was 14, 15 and broke into the first team at 18. Although you're a young lad, can you be a role model, do you think?
No, definitely I can be a role model. There's a big academy out there in Accrington with, I'm sure, loads of quality players. When I was there, I had the likes of Ross Sykes and Toby Salmon in the first team who I could look up to and see. Gives you confidence that you can do it.
And supporters love one of their own. Sum up for me, if you can, your relationship with the Accrington fan base, because it does feel like you get a little bit of an extra cheer when that name's read out over the PA system when you're in the team.
Yeah, no, it feels good. I think I have a good bond with the fans, considering I've been here since I was 8 or 9 years old, and I've been around the squad, the first team squad, for a good few years now. So no, I think we have a good connection. Yeah.
Do you think that's still the case across the board with the players and the staff here? Do you think there's still that interaction that maybe you don't get at a lot of other clubs? You know, players still go in the bar and stuff, don't they?
Yeah, no, you'll see, quite a few of us will be in the bar after the game interacting with all the fans. I think that's what gives us the bond here, and it's like, well, that's what's different to here than it is at other clubs. Like the players know the fans, and we know we're going to give them our all, and they'll give us their all off the pitch.
Home game coming up, I guess that means you really look forward to home games, but also the implications of not winning a home game means that you send all these people home unhappy.
Yeah, no, being a home game, it does help having the fans there, but obviously it adds a little bit more pressure on to get a result. But I think that helps all the lads, because they know with pressure on, we've got to do the job. You
spoke about confidence, particularly an away win at Grimsby. How much does that help you going into the next one? Because they say if you average 2 points a game, it's promotion form. But if you've won away from home, you've already got 3 points.
Yeah, now getting 3 points away from home is massive. You go away from home trying to stay in the game, and hopefully you can get something out of the game. 3 points or even a point is maybe good away from home, and then do the job at home. So coming off the back of 3 points, that'll give all the lads confidence.
And just explain to me that midfield role. When you're at home particularly, I think there's more emphasis on you to make the run in and you to attack and you to try and dominate a game. As a midfield player in the role that you play, is there a sort of onus on you to dictate, to dominate?
Yeah, at home I think we've got to be more on the front foot, attacking. I think the midfielders have always got to dictate the game, grab the scruff of the neck of how the game's going. But at home I think we've got to be on the front foot, attacking, crossing, getting shots off, put them under as much pressure as you can. How
hard is it in tough times, maybe you're losing a game or something, to be the guy sticking their hand up and saying, give me the ball, I'll make something happen? Yeah,
no, it is tough, because when the game's not going right, it's hard to get that little kick in the game, a bit of confidence. It is tough, but I think we've all got to stand up for ourselves when it gets tough. It can't just be one or two, it's got to be the whole team.
And do you think that's changed for you, sort of league game-wise, recently? That maybe you've done it in trophy matches or cup games or in the under-23s before, but maybe now you're sticking your hand up and saying, give me the ball in a League 2 game?
Yeah, I'd like to think I've always tried to do that. Sometimes it's not as easy as it seems, but I'll always try and get on the ball, ask for the ball. I'll take the ball wherever I can, whether it's a league game or a cup game.
And I suppose as a result of that, you can have quite a big influence in games, even though you might not be the most experienced or the oldest player in there. Is that something that you enjoy?
Yeah, no, I enjoy having that bit of pressure of I've got to be the one to get on the ball, to get us going. I think that's what I thrive off, and I like getting on the ball, I like trying to make things tick.